Let's go over a few things that have been done on this gem. In terms of the AC, all of that AC series, from thinking about pumping fluid in from underneath to clean things up, any mold or whatever, what it turned out being, believe it or not, it was just that cabin filter underneath the hood. I paid like 85 bucks from the dealer to get a new factory Audi cabin filter. So here's what was happening. Yeah, there were some little mouse bites on it, but the filter, when it would be raining outside or lots of moisture, you would have far more smell, mold smell, when you turned on the AC or the heat in this car. And that kind of led me to think maybe there's some kind of dried mold trapped inside of the filter there, and this activates itself once the moisture is there. So that theory turned out to be true. If that's what it was, that's what it was. But this car has absolutely no more mold smell for the heat or the AC. You don't need to do that crazy baking your car stuff for an hour on your driveway. Just change your cabin filter. It might solve all your problems. In terms of this headlight, some of you will remember I really wanted to get the fitment right because it looked stupid, and I did figure it out. So that headlight is fitted much better. We'll take a closer look at it later, but it had to do a lot of dealing with the mounts and the adjusters until I figured it out. So headlights look good now. It doesn't look like a car with one headlight pointing upwards. That was really bad at night. It would shine into people's eyes. Now let's talk about the starter job. The starter job is very difficult on this car. If you have abandoned, I'd say, any other job on this car before you started it and took it to a shop, if that's happened to you, use that as a sign that you should not attempt the starter job from the beginning. It's a very precise job. I definitely recommend you hang the engine from a brace from the top. Don't jack it up from a floor jack. You don't want that floor jack to fail on you. Very tricky job. I might go over the steps one time because there's all kinds of different methods people use on the internet, but it's a doable job, but you better have very good skills to attempt that. I'm not saying that because I don't want you to do it. I'm saying it because if you get stuck in the middle of that job, you're gonna hate a lot of things probably. Now, I'm on this side of the car, but the driver's side of the front bumper has some Bondo and cracked paint. It looks really ugly. Most people don't see it because it's so low, but it's also not molded as nicely as the bottom of this side. So the part scarcity is no new thing for us. All right, these bumpers, whatever's left in the States, is probably $4 grand by now. And I don't know what the deal is with Europe. Maybe those of you in like Dubai and Europe and stuff, you can find stuff at junkyards still. But here in North America, oh, we got to patch up everything we have. So I'm most likely going to... Some of you remember the grill inserts that I did here. They're still holding up fine with the matte paint job, but you can get a little bit closer here. You can see the cracked paint. You can see the pink Bondo in the sunlight. I don't use Bondo anymore. I use more professional body fillers. But shaping this is going to be pretty tough, but I'm going to get the bumper off soon and do that. You see this side without any damage. It's a really nice factory lip there, but I have to repair this and repaint this bumper. So we'll see how that all continues to go. You see, here you can really see that headlight fitment thing I was telling you. I'm so happy the headlights, all the adaptive functions work, because these cars, a lot of them do have the adaptive headlights that when you turn the steering wheel, the headlight turns with the road. So really, really happy that I got the headlight fitment fixed up. And the starter and the headlights, everything I still did myself, because part of the point of this channel is to encourage people to work on these things themselves once you do have the actual skill to work on them. So here we are back at the lovely engine bay, one of the nicest looking engine bays of all cars, and this car's running fine. The cover series, all of those, this is everything that I did years ago from that video. So for those of you who attempt to do the same thing, it'll work. As you can see on the rear engine cover, I finally got that red RS going there. Again, I followed the methods. Go find the video in the history of my channel. But the red, this was an idea from a Canadian forum user. who used red model car paint. So what I did is I went to an art store, I bought some red model car paint. I didn't really match it to the valve covers. I just looked at the paint code and I felt what the red will look like, and I painted it. And then I used, I can't remember, the art store people will tell you, it's like an acrylic clear coaty glaze stuff, and it was much more expensive than the paint. The paint was like $4, and the little bottle of the clear stuff was like $25. So whatever that is, I barely used it. I used it on other cars too, but the red looks great, and the heat in the engine bay has not made it fade. So thanks to that forum user for that tip. There, I know there's people who print stickers and stuff like that too. They take the emblems off, but again, I'm not messing with that stuff for now. So this looks great to me. You know, from here, my carbon covers look very good. I mean, engine bay is clean. I try to keep it clean. Reservoir's holding up. It's an OE unit. Everything else with the car is okay. I wash and change that AEM filter all the time. Okay, so stay on top of your air filters. Make sure they're clean. Everything else with the car, perfect shape. Excellent cars. We're at about 180,000 kilometers on this car now. It is still doing very good. Doesn't show up very well on camera, but the seats, start conditioning your seats a lot, people. These are getting old, the seats, and they dry out quickly. Use sun visors, but I'm conditioning the seats a lot now. My seats are in good shape. So that's just a reminder, but always clean first and then condition. I've seen people use conditioner as a two-step thing. Doesn't work like that. So in terms of the carbon trim, it's still that one crack that some of you know of. It's in a very discreet place. It's not visible. Unfortunate for some people, a lot of people get the crack in that area there. It starts to look really bad, but mine has all held up. But this car does sit in a garage a lot. So yeah. I mean, everything's good in here, nice and clean. Oh, the mileage just went away. Okay, so there you see, we're just about at 180, and car doesn't really leak oil anymore. I mean, I can't even keep track of all the seals I change all the time, but yeah, barely leaks any oil. I drive it hard a lot. That could also be something that helps. Okay, these seals might be expanding and fixing themselves, the ones that are made with gasket maker or something. I don't know, maybe I'm making that up, but car's pretty much leak free. Power steering fluid, I had a leak, and what happened there, one of the lines, was about $400 from the dealer, was leaking where it connects to a hard line for the cooler, the power steering cooler, and I cleaned it up really good. It was very tough access. I can't remember how much stuff I removed. I did remove some stuff. Then I put a bit of gasket maker, that ultra black Permatex stuff, and the leak is gone. But it was leaking enough power steering fluid to the point that I had to have a little tank with me and top it off. So stay on top of your power steering pumps, people. I don't want to have to do the Volvo electric pump conversion, which I do have. I want to keep this factory and keep my pump going the way it is. So looking inside the trunk here, those two floor mats are there because my 1 liter of extra oil in a Mobil 1 bottle, which is crap. Always carrying a liquid moly bottle. The bottle is designed better. I was ripping one day and it spilled all over that trunk carpet. Took all the carpets out, cleaned them. Took hours. Even a professional carpet cleaner tried to clean them. That oil stain is in my carpets forever. Again, you can get it from a part out A4. That's where I got my trunk carpet that's under here, from a part out A4. Paid $30 for it. You guys remember that I didn't have it for a long time, so I'll probably just buy another one. But if you're going to carry your oil in your car, power steering fluid, whatever, really make sure it's in a good container, because it can and will, with the acceleration forces of this car, knock the cap off and dump all over the place. That was a hell of an annoying job to do, but that's life. So I did those 3 starts in a row there, because even with the new Vallejo starter, it makes a weird like that first one there, but it always does that. It always starts on the first turn. So the problem was the starter for sure. I mean, it just sounds weird sometimes, but sometimes it starts on that slower Crown Victoria V8 style starter rhythm, and sometimes it has that really, honestly, not very pleasant sounding rhythm that you heard at the beginning there. So that's the only reason I turned it on and off 3 times in a row. But cold weather, warm weather, the Vallejo starter is great. Again, I'm not even going to get into details of how tricky that starter job is and how good you have to be to do it.